Good morning, YouTube family. Good afternoon and good evening, wherever you might be. Welcome to Happy Crappy Hour from Escape from Crazytown. I'm sorry, I have something running in the background for some reason. Why is that on? Okay. Hey, so glad to have you guys here. I hope that you are having a wonderful week or a beautiful day wherever you are. Boy, today we have quite a topic, and it's about being gaslit and manipulated by the narcissist, and many times also by the new supply in the narcissist's life. And also, of course, they're flying monkeys. How wonderful, right? We're getting hit on all sides. So, what do? Are you at the point where you're recognizing that something is really, really off? You're questioning yourself a lot, and you want to know how the heck to get out of this crazy mindset. So that is what I'm going to talk about today. Hey, you guys, I am going to see what is up here. Oh, that's not what I need to do. Whoa. Okay. What just... Oh, hey, you guys. Oh, I know what happened. All right. Hold on. No, that's not it either. Hey, you guys, I'm just having a hard time setting up. So if you hold on with me for a second, there we go, so that I can see everybody. And I'm going to get rid of this. All right, here we are. So let's talk about gaslighting and manipulation today. It is not a good place to be in. It really makes you feel like you're going crazy. The gaslighting is absolutely insane. It does make you feel nuts. And when you have been gaslit, I think that's the worst for all of us because you lose your ability to trust your own I don't know, your own eyes and your own ears, really. You just don't trust your judgment anymore because you fall for the lies because you want to believe so badly what is going on. So, good morning, John, and good morning, Rissa. Riss, good to see you guys hopping on. So glad to have you here. Yeah, I just needed to talk to you guys about this because everybody, I think, I think a lot of people are becoming more and more aware of all these terms that we use to describe narcissistic abuse, which is gaslighting, projection, future faking, by the way, is happening, but we are not. Um, I have not heard that one too much in the public square, if you will, right? But that is what's happening when politicians promise you a certain kind of future, but everything from their past shows you that is not the case, right? It's like, you the way there's like video evidence. They have voted a certain way. They have implemented certain policies, and you're like, but then you're telling me that the future is going to be completely different than everything you've done for the last 40 years. So I think one of the terms we have not come across, which we should, is that we're being future faked. But the gaslighting and the projection is out of this world, and people are, for the first time, those of you who probably not any of my viewers, because a lot of you guys have been through narcissistic abuse. I've been through relationships with a toxic person or a narcissistic person. And you come here because you're like, what the heck just happened to me? I don't even understand. And you learn about projection. You learn about gaslighting, right? And you think, so that's what happened to me. Now things start to make sense. Well, the rest of the world is actually waking up to the same thing. They're seeing, like, why do I feel like I'm in freaking crazy town? Like, because these politicians have brought in crazy town. So that's why I really want to talk about this today, because we're not just experiencing it in our personal lives, we're also experiencing it in our public life. Because you'll come across your friends, your coworkers, your neighbors, and they've been gaslit, or they've been manipulated, or they've been future faked. And you're like, you want to wake them up. You want to say, hey, no, that's a lie, right? Because you are able to recognize narcissistic manipulations, right? They're tactics. You've been there, you've seen it, you've experienced it, you're recovering from it. And maybe some of you are completely recovered from it, but you're here on this channel to help others. So you're feeling like you're being thrown into this crazy town with them because now they're the new supply. They become the narcissist's new supply. They become the flying monkeys or the fan club, and they're being wooed and they're being, not necessarily literally wined and dined, but promised the future, right? They're promised this amazing, beautiful, wonderful future, and they're just completely brainwashed. And that's what happens to us. We have talked about Stockholm Syndrome, and it happens when the victim starts having compassion for their captor, right? For the person who's abusing them. And that's because the victim, like us, a lot of times, not just a lot of times, I think every time, we become victims because we have sympathy. We have empathy. We're able to have compassion. Oh, you guys, you know what? This is really annoying me. My husband got me this new phone, and I knew it. This is so crazy because now my phone is doing this. Well, you kind of see who I am, but you don't, hopefully. Still trying to stay a little bit incognito. Sadly, I am still in my pajamas and have just showered. So my hair is a wreck and frizzy, and anyway, there we are. Well, you guys, we are going to talk about a little bit of happies and crappies because I want to talk about how we learn from our experiences each week. We don't want to ignore the things that we've been dealing with week to week because we want to learn from them. And my crappy this week has been, falling more, and it goes along with our topic today, being gaslit, in that I'm falling more and more into the news, if you will, right? And it depends on what you're willing to follow, what you're willing to open and listen to. I try to listen to all sides, okay? I try to open up things that normally I would not listen to just because I need to hear what's going on the other side. And then I can make an educated decision. I can make an educated and better informed opinion about what's going on. And I follow up with facts. And then I also question everything I see because you don't want to just go on somebody else's opinion. You want to actually look at reality, right? You want to look at facts and documents and actual video footage, and not just snippets of video footage, like the entire session, the entire what do you call it? The Senate committee hearings, the entire interview, the entire whatever the event is. Because a lot of times what happens when you're being gaslit is you're only shown a little snippet, right? And then you're told to believe that that little snippet means something then other than what it really is. And that is what gaslighting and manipulation is, yeah, it does to you. These tactics that they use will drive you absolutely insane. But I agree with you. Is it Gloria says, I don't watch any news. It is so hard to watch. I don't watch the mainstream because mainstream right now, by the way, just lies. It's all complete lies. And thank goodness for the internet because people are getting on and searching for themselves. Like I can't be the only one feeling like something is off, right? And then when you turn on the mainstream and those who follow the mainstream only, you continue to get gaslit because they'll keep telling you, no, you didn't see what you just saw. It's like, but I did just see this, right? Like the cheating and the fraud that's out there. And I wonder if my videos are getting banned, by the way, which is crazy, or censored. They're getting shadow banned. So they're not banned entirely, but they're not getting recommended. And some of them, not all of them, but oh my gosh, just because I talk about this and I try to stay, what do you call it? I'm sorry, I'm getting a phone call, so I'm getting distracted because I thought I put in a do not disturb, but I'm getting things flashing up on my phone. But I try to stay not in the middle. I am in the middle. I don't want you guys to anonymous about it, right? I don't want you guys to be skewed to one side or the other side. You have to make up your own decision. I'm just trying to get you to look, right? I'm just trying to get you to question because that's what happens to us when we follow or we're being manipulated by a narcissist or a toxic person or a person who's just simply lying to us, right? The pathological liar. They will manipulate you. And I want you to be able to question, and what kind of questions should you ask, right? Should you just, oh, well, they said this and they gave me a little snippet of evidence, so I must believe it. Well, guess what? Narcissists do that. If you've come out of a relationship with a narcissist, you have already experienced that, right? Especially if the narcissist you were with was cheating on you. They'll tell you, oh, no, 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 I wasn't really being friendly with that woman or that man, depending on if you're who you are. Um, I wasn't being friendly with him or her. I was just, I don't even know them. And it's like, you must know them. It looks like you know them. How can you talk with them for 20 minutes and you didn't know them? Like, oh, because they were asking me directions to something another, and it just took me a long time to give them the directions, or yeah, or I was helping them figure out something. Like a total stranger comes up to you and you're telling me that it takes you 20 minutes to help them, find the supermarket. Give me a break, right? So when they try to tell you little snippets of things, or they'll even say, oh yeah, you want to look at my phone, like say for instance you heard them, or you're seeing them on their phone, and you see them like run out of the room when the phone rings, and you're like, what the heck, right? And then they come back in and you're like, well, who was that? And they say something like, oh, it was my mom. Why the heck did you have to run out of the room if it was just your mom? Oh, because and they'll come up with some ridiculous reason, right? Excuse, and it won't make sense. So this is where, in the public square, when you're seeing a politician say something to you, question it. Say, wait a minute, okay, does that make sense from what they had said before? Does that follow their, and a lot of these politicians already have had years, if not decades, of history behind them. Like, do a little digging, because the mainstream media is not going to show you their history. That's the same thing as narcissists when they gaslight you. They're not going to show you, oh yeah, here are all my exes and what I did to them and the record of how I hurt them and cheated on them and lied to them or stole from them. They're not going to show you all of that, right? You have to actually go looking for it. So if all you're relying on are the flying monkeys, and in this case, I would say it's the mainstream media, if you're just reliant on their flying monkeys to give you the truth about the narcissist, they are not going to do that, because they're already either mesmerized and under the spell of the narcissist, or they're with the narcissist. Like, they're with the narcissist to manipulate you, because they don't care about you, they care about the narcissist. So you're only going to hear, oh yeah, they were great and their exes were horrible. Their exes were, the terrible people that they had to get away from. And then they'll smear the ex along with the narcissist, as the narcissist smears the ex. And you'll think, oh, there you go. There's proof for me. There's my proof that it was the exes and not the narcissist, right? That was at fault. Same thing with the media. When you go to the media and they're supporting the narcissist, or in this case, the politician, you're not going to get the background. And if the flying monkeys are not willing to give you anything that's concrete about their background, then why are you believing it, right? It's just their opinion. It's just their word. So that's why you want to ask. So in this, I want to talk to you about how then do you discern the truth? How do you get out of the gaslighting? How do you even know that you're being manipulated, right? A lot of times we don't. We have no idea we're being gaslit. We have no idea we're being manipulated, because it sounds pretty plausible, right? And in our heart, we want to believe the best of people. We can't believe that people would intentionally hurt us, right? But then you're like, but then how can so many people, if you're looking at the media, how can so many be that ignorant of what's going on, right? Some of them must know really what's going on, and they're doing the gaslighting themselves. They're doing it on purpose. And that, I think, is a bit terrifying, because if that's going on, we're going to be thrown into this crazy tumbling I don't know what to even call it, roller coaster, right? Where we're not going to be able to stand on our own feet and understand what we're seeing. So, here's the deal. Get grounded, know who you are, know that you have already, if you ended up in this channel, you have already witnessed some gaslighting in your life, right? You've already witnessed the manipulation in your life. So, what can you do? What can you do now, right? Apply that. Apply what you did when you were being manipulated in the other relationship, right? So when you were being manipulated, first of all, your gut told you something is off, right? Your gut is like, this doesn't quite make sense. And then, of course, your brain kicks in and starts to question. Now, you have a choice at that point to ignore the questioning, ignore your gut, or at least entertain. Like, why am I questioning this? Why does this not feel right? Okay. So, one of the things that you can do is you sit down and you do a little 2020 inventory. Look back, look back at your relationship and gather the experiences that you have. You already have evidence because you've already experienced your time with a narcissist, right? So you can look back and think about, oh yeah, when they said this, but then it didn't happen, or when they said that, and then somebody else contradicted it, what they said. When they said they went to, that they were hanging out with their friend at their friend's house, but then somebody else told you they saw them at the bar. Okay, instead of dismissing it now that you're awake, you go back and you write this down, all the discrepancies, all the contradictions, and the things that you had caught them in. So if you had done that, you are going to be able to start waking up from their gaslighting, from their manipulations on you. Use your own experiences, reevaluate, take a second look at your own experiences with the narcissist. Now, I want to go into a few other things on how then also can you get out of that gaslighting. And one of the things is you turn it off. Here's the thing, no contact, right? No contact allows them not to gaslight you anymore. No contact with the narcissist, but also no contact with the new supply and no contact with the flying monkeys or fan club, because those people will continue to gaslight you. Now, I'm not saying you can't be friends with some of the fan club or the flying monkeys, because maybe some of them are your mutual friends or even mutual family members. But you do have to disconnect when it comes to the narcissist. You cannot have the narcissist be the topic or be the center of your relationship with these other people, because you're going to continue to be gaslit. They're going to tell you fake stories about the narcissist and make you feel even more crazy. Or they may even bring in messages from the narcissist, because the narcissist is not done manipulating you. If they have contact to you through other people, they will manipulate other people to try to gaslight or manipulate you. So that's why it's really important not to have anything to do with the narcissist. Go no contact. That will help you with the gaslighting and feeling like you're in Crazytown. Now, in the real world, that might include just turning off the news. It's just absolutely Crazytown out there. So, yeah, Tales from the Narc side says systemic narcissism is running rampant, especially in the media. Yep, absolutely, it is. So, you guys, it is. It, hopefully, we're coming to an end, but I'm afraid that we're not, because narcissists are going to continue to live amongst us, right? It's not like once you figure out the manipulations, once you figure out their tactics, once you figure out that who in your life has been manipulating you, that they're going to just stop manipulating. They don't. They don't stop manipulating. They're going to continue manipulating. They're going to continue behaving the way they have, because they don't see anything wrong, for one, right? They don't see that they're doing anything wrong. And two, this is just who they are. This is their behavior. This is their habit. This is the way they live. So they don't just change automatically just because you notice and you even bring it to their attention and say, hey, I caught you in this lie, so therefore you need to apologize and come clean, and from now on tell me nothing but truths. That's not going to happen with toxic people. They may, they may give into that one lie, right? They may give that to you and say, okay, you caught me, you were right. I wasn't with my friend. I was out at the bar, but that's only because my friend wanted to go to the bar. They were feeling so down and they just needed a drink. They'll cover it up with another lie for why they were there. Uh, you can believe it, which I shouldn't, I don't suggest you do, or you can add it to your experiences, right? Another clue to, oh my gosh, they're still covering, they're still lying. So another thing that you need to do is you go back, and by the way, we have these people in our lives. I've had them in my life, and I'm sure you have as well. People who have warned you about the narcissist. They had told you that the that the narcissist was playing you. They had told you, be aware of this narcissist who uses people. They told you that the narcissist was not good to their ex, or they see that you're coming under the spell, and they start to tell you, wow, you're behaving just like the other people we saw who came under that narcissist spell. And you won't, you're like, no, what are you talking about? How can I come under the spell when I've seen other people come under the spell? Well, it happens. It happens to all or most of us, some of us, it happens. If you ended up here, it happened to you. We got under the spell. So if you have had somebody in your life at the beginning, right, tell you, try to warn you, that's another way for you to heal and also seek the truth. Go and talk to those people and say, you know what? You warned me at the beginning. What did you see? Why did you feel like there was something wrong? Now you are able to talk to them and see why they did what they did. Now, or why they tried to warn you, right? And that again is evidence, right? That's evidence that they're going to be able to bring to you that you were not in a place at the time to receive. You were in a place where you're under the spell. You're living this faked future that the narcissist is promising you. You wish it to be true. You're being sympathetic to the narcissist because at that point you've heard their victim stories and you want to love on them and help them heal, and you want to be there for them. So you don't want to listen to people who are bashing them, right? But now you're like, wow, my aunt so and so, or my sister, or my brother, or my best friend, or his best friend, her best friend tried to warn me. It's like, what the heck? That's crazy. So again, you can listen. If they're the narcissist's best friend, be careful with that one because that's weird. Like, how can they still be the narcissist's best friend and then be the one warning you? That's a huge, really sticky mess that you might not want to reopen. So don't go to their best friend, but talk to other people that you have a relationship with, that you may trust. Mostly, I mean, it's really hard to trust someone entirely who is with the narcissist or is friends with a narcissist, but you can at least sit down and hear their perspective and then give weight to it as it deserves. Like, if you think some of that is off, some of that was more opinion than fact, you know, just use your discernment and start practicing your discernment again, right? That's how we build up our own trust again. How to trust ourselves is we start to build up our own discernment. Give ourselves that opportunity to listen to people who have a difference of opinion, right? Or even maybe evidence to the contrary of what we believe. And then we start to investigate, start to ask questions, start to pay attention, start to watch. If there's video evidence, if there's written evidence, read or watch those things. And then discern for yourself, like, oh, okay, that's kind of what I was assuming or I was kind of leaning towards. And now this evidence tells me I was on the right track. That's how you start building up your discernment and your self-trust again. All right, you guys. Good to see you guys hopping on. Jihad, good to see you. And yeah, Tales from the Narc side says, turn off the TV. I so agree. So agree. I watch some, I just watch antenna TV at this point. I don't even watch cable, but I'll watch some really old shows that they're rehashing. Like Wings. I know it's so silly, but it's one of those shows I really enjoyed. And it's well written. It's just hilarious. But here we are. Cluster B, good to see you. Cluster B free. I'm sorry, you're not Cluster B. You're Cluster B free. Yes. Aloha from Honolulu. Aloha to you. So cool. I love Hawaii. Have been there. It's beautiful. Haven't been there in the last several years, but I have been fortunate enough to be able to visit years ago, and I would love to go back. Man, I would love to be able to live there. But pipe dream. John, good to see you. Says, does new supply also gaslight? Yes, they do, and I'll explain why. The new supply is under the spell of the narcissist. So they're almost like a flying monkey, but a very close flying monkey, right? Flying monkey with benefits, if you will. The new supply, either they gaslight on purpose, knowingly, or they gaslight without realizing it because they're just perpetuating the narcissist's fantasy and lies and manipulations on you because they believe that you're the enemy. They believe that everything the narcissist is telling them about you, they believe that you're the reason that all the problems happened to the narcissist, right? You're the reason that the narcissist is broke. You're the reason that the narcissist has no car. You're the reason that the narcissist lost their job. You're the reason that the narcissist is, addicted to something now, right? They're going to blame you. So then the flying monkey is going to do whatever the narcissist tells them to do. Like they're going to say, they may even, how would, they're going to play as a team member. Like, what team are they going to be on? They're not going to be on your team. They're going to be on the narcissist team. So if you come to confront the new supply, which I do not recommend, but if ever you are face to face with the new supply is going to fake that their relationship is just wonderful because they know that your relationship with the narcissist was horrible, right? You didn't get along. You were fighting a lot. The narcissist was cheating on you because, for whatever reason, you were not emotionally there for them, or abusive towards them. That's what they're going to say. So the new supply is going to gaslight you into thinking that it was all your fault. It's going to make you feel like, well, life is perfect with me and your ex, so it must have been you. And that's part of the gaslighting. When they know that life with the narcissist is a disaster. They know that behind closed doors, the narcissist is a jerk. They know that the narcissist doesn't follow through with their promises. They're starting to see cracks in their relationship with the narcissist, but they're not going to admit that to you. They're going to gaslight you. They're going to act as if, oh, this is the best, my soulmate, the best person I've ever met. And, I can't believe you let them go. I can't believe that you treated them so badly. And they're gaslighting you because, second of all, another reason why they might gaslight you, not just because they're on the narcissist side, but second of all, the narcissist may be triangulating them with you, right? So on top of bashing you, the narcissist also uses you as a third person that they're going to tell their new supply, well, you know what? My ex used to was a really good cook, or my ex used to take me on these fantastic dates, or my ex used to treat me like, if you're a woman and your ex, I'm sorry, if you're a guy and your ex is a woman, then the new supply might be like, oh, well, the my ex used to do incredible things for me in the bedroom, or take me on these incredible adventures, or it's just incredible. they will go on and on and on, to manipulate you, or the, I'm sorry, not you, the new supply, into then hating their ex, right, and getting jealous of the ex, of you. So when they confront you, or when they're around you, they're not going to want you to feel like you're better than them, the new supply, right? So they're going to make it look like you're so much worse than them. Again, gaslighting you, right? They're not going to tell you that, wow, your ex misses you, and your ex said all these nice things about you, and your ex, compares me to you and says that you do this better than me. They're not going to tell you that. They're going to make you feel like you are the only thing that was wrong with the whole relationship, even if they knew better, even if they came to the point where they even have seen the evidence that that's not true. Yeah. So that's part of the gaslighting that you'll get from the narcissist and the new supply. That's why you can't go on that. Some people will contact the new supply hoping to see a crack, hoping to see like they're not happy. But the new supply is going to gaslight you along with the narcissist, because or the narcissist and the new supply, that's what I mean, are trying to gaslight you because they don't want to admit to you, or anybody who's watching, that you're lucky to get away. You're the lucky one. You're the lucky one to have dodged the bullet and now are out of there. It's, yeah. Well, you guys, let me see some of the comments here. Rissa says, guys, I must say I am struggling. I feel hurt because I know although the narc cheated on the new supply twice in 4 months, she took him back and they are working it out. I am feeling like I didn't do enough. Oh my gosh, Rissa. Yeah, that's another thing too, why we have to go no contact, because we end up gaslighting ourselves. We will look at that and think, we'll make up a story or a narrative that's not real, that's fake. We're going to fake ourselves out. We're going to gaslight ourselves. Okay, first of all, the evidence is the narcissist already cheated on the new supply twice in just 4 months. Now, you have that as evidence, but then you want to believe that suddenly, because they took the narcissist back for a third time, by the way, because obviously they forgave them the first, second, and now they're coming back. Well, whatever it is, if it's first, second, or third time that the narcissist is going back to them, they're forgiving the narcissist. And suddenly we believe, just because they forgive the narcissist is going to change. That goes against every evidence we have, and even our own experience with the narcissist, right? We are gaslighting ourselves to believe that. So that's why you have to go no contact, even with the new supply, because they will continue or even watching from afar, right? When you're watching from afar, you're going to continue that narrative. You're going to continue to doubt yourself. You're going to try, and this is sad, but you sabotage yourself. You're going to, not that you want to believe that things are better for them, but you're going to be harsh on yourself. Most people are just simply more harsh on themselves than they are of other people. They're more critical of themselves. And if you're very critical of yourself, that is damaging not just to you, but it's damaging to your relationships, because that brings in insecurity and a whole slew of brokenness. That's why I want to work with you on trying to disconnect and heal yourself and rebuild your discernment, rebuild your ability to trust your own self, rebuild your confidence. Once you rebuild all of that, or even some of it, and as you're going along, you're going to notice that, oh my gosh, you're going to actually see the gaslighting. You're going to see the evidence and be able to accept evidence for fact, instead of taking the evidence and throwing it away and then running away with some weird fantasy narrative that only hurts you more, right? People tend to hurt themselves more than help themselves when they're already wounded, right? It's really hard to break out of that, because you get into this downward spiral. You're already feeling bad, and you're now looking for more evidence. It's almost like you're seeking evidence to prove that you should be in this downward spiral. And that's the opposite of what you have to do. You have to cut off any people who are toxic in your life. And that includes people who are your exes, right? Who your ex narcissistic partner, who now is going to do what they can to make you feel like you were the problem. Anyway, you guys, let's go on. I hope that helped you, Rissa. Yeah. So you're going to say you didn't do enough. You didn't take him back the 15th, the 20th, the 30th time. If only I took him back that one more time, then things would change. That is gaslighting yourself, okay? That is manipulating yourself, self-sabotage. Don't do that. They were a cheater. That's the reality of it. The reality is you experienced the cheating, she's experiencing the cheating, and then now you want to control the one thing you can, right? You want to fix the narrative of the one thing you can. And the one person you're in control of is you. So that's why you're taking on the blame. You're taking on the blame because you can't blame the narcissist. They're not going to change. They're not going to take responsibility. So then you're like, well, then maybe I need to do something. Maybe I need to change. But that's not going to fix it either. All that's going to do is weaken your ability to discern the truth. Because if you take on their responsibility, it doesn't fix the problem. In fact, then that behavior going into another relationship will sabotage that relationship. Because you're not going to do the things that are in your purview. That's your responsibility. You're going to allow the other person to project onto you, and then you take on their responsibility. That's not going to help the relationship. All right. Oh, yeah. This says, I haven't slept for the week, believing they are working out and it was me. Yeah. That's why you cannot be watching them. You have to just start working on you. And I'm going to get into that as well. There are things that you can absolutely do for yourself. Gloria says, ex-narc cheated with a narc. Will be interesting what will happen. Oh my gosh. I love those scenarios because it's karma, man. It is total karma. You know that it's going to be a total nightmare. And I'm sorry, it sounds like I'm almost like happy about it, but it's vindicating for you, isn't it? It just feels like, oh my gosh, it wasn't me. They're crazy and they're attracted to crazy. So I'm so glad I'm out of there. That's the excitement for me. When you see that happen, you're like, oh my gosh, I am so glad I'm out of there. And then you don't look, because anytime you look, they're going to make it look like this beautiful, happy ending show. No, thank you. Don't need to see that lie. Don't need to see that narrative. You already have experienced their absolute terrible nature, their character, and you are now supposed to believe that they changed that entirely and are these wonderful people to each other. No, it just doesn't happen that way. Yeah. Yeah. Gloria says, it's a horrible place to be in your mind. I was making up stories in my head of how wonderful things must be now for him and the new narc. He never changed for me at all. People can't change. I don't agree with that. People can't change, but narcissists don't change. Yeah. Immature people who behave narcissistically, they can change. Something happens in their life and they turn it around. I think I know that's happened for me, where I'd done some things that were very immature, and once I got older, once I had experienced more, once I had other types of relationships, people who are real with me, people who are willing to walk through life with me, and also me sharing life with them, where I'm walking through life with them and I'm helping them. I've grown a lot. I've changed a lot. So in that way, that's what I mean. People do and can change. Pam, good to see you. Says, oh yes, no contact is all about getting peace. Yep. Oh my gosh, yeah. Gloria says the ex-narc cheated on the new supply with me. Of course, I thought we were working on our relationship. It was all lies. Exactly. And that's what the new supply is dealing with. The new supply is dealing with your narc going back to the exes, going back to you, and maybe even other exes. That's what the new supply is dealing with. And huge triangulation, by the way, more than with just one ex, possibly. They're probably being compared to all the exes the narc has ever had, which is traumatizing, by the way, to a person's self esteem. Pam says also the narcs run different manipulation games depending on the person and their boundaries and personality. My narc ex-husband runs a somewhat different game on his new wife. She's a foreigner. Oh, wow. She is seeking citizenship. The only woman that would stay with him after he dated dozens and they all left. I know a narcissist like that too, where it's actually my uncle. He married a foreign woman and she's trying to get her citizenship. So, I mean, you kind of see like there's a bit of being used on both sides there where she's, maybe she does love him, you would think because of all the junk that he does to her and she's still there with him. But maybe it's because to her that's worth the cost of getting citizenship. So in that case, you just like, oh my gosh, you just let karma do its thing. You run the other direction knowing that it's a total crazy nightmare. And it's hard in that situation to ever know that anybody loves anybody. Where someone, oh, yeah, where someone is essentially held hostage in the relationship for some really grand prize outside of the narcissist, like actually even money, right? They might stay with the narcissist if the narcissist is rich, so they're there for the money, not for the narcissist, or they're there with the narcissist to get citizenship, or they're there with the narcissist to get some other benefit that's so much greater than the narcissist, but it's worth it to them to stay there. So, I mean, narcissists will use that. They'll take it. They're like, yeah, well, then I'm going to hold this over you and make you do what I want you to do. And who wants to be in that kind of a relationship? Honestly, why would we even look over there and be jealous of that? Why would we think that that's a beautiful or the kind of relationship that we would want, right? Yeah. Ah, BB Scott, good to see you. It's been a while. Good morning. Japan says these narcs don't change. Yep. I've known my ex-husband for 25 years and he just got more savvy over the years. Wow. This is so true. They do. They get more savvy. Their manipulations. It's so weird though because they also sometimes get more sloppy because they get so arrogant. I guess like they kind of go in these cycles. If they get so arrogant that they just think I can lie straight to your face and straight to everybody's face and everybody will just simply believe me, or they'll lie and then they know like, oh, if I just kind of bat my eyes and act like, act silly or act humble and just apologize, everybody would just automatically forgive me. And you're like, what the heck, But it's true. It works. It actually does work. And hopefully it doesn't work on you anymore though, right? That's the thing. We want to get to the point where their manipulations and their gaslighting no longer work on you. We can't solve this problem for everybody else. They have to come to terms with that themselves. The other flying monkeys, the other victims, the other new supplies, they have to come to that conclusion themselves because they are at that point in their relationship with the narcissist where they cannot accept reality. They cannot even accept evidence and facts that are presented to them because they would just rather believe in the fantasy that the narcissist has put in front of them. Aw, Rissa says, thank you everyone. I humbly thank you. I am so thankful for all of you guys hopping on here. I am so thankful for your contributions and your wisdom and your experiences because this is what helps us to heal. When we hear other people going through this or what they did to heal and what they noticed, it makes you feel like you're not going crazy. That's part of that gaslighting effect, right? You feel like, how can I trust myself when I'm crazy, when I couldn't discern for myself reality, and you don't even know where to start. But then you start hearing other people's experiences, and you're like, "Holy cow! I went through that. That manipulation was used on me, so I'm not going crazy. I wasn't out of my mind to question this. Guess what? You're not out of your mind to question ever. Like, you should question. It's not unhealthy to question. You should question. Now, if you refuse to look at facts that disprove your I don't know what your thinking is or your opinion, then that's a bit crazy, right? When you're looking at facts and you're like, no, that's not real. And that's when you need to back up a bit more and reevaluate yourself, and maybe even get close people who you really trust, to help you see the truth. All right, you guys, let's go on. I wanted to talk about, so what do you do now for yourself to build up your own self-esteem, confidence, or maybe even your own discernment, right? Now that it's been destroyed by the gaslighting and manipulation, what do you do now? And I would suggest, first of all, start reading, right? Start reading books to educate yourself, or even watching videos. And you guys are already doing that, right? You've gotten that part. You're watching videos that educate you on the different manipulations. You're hearing other people's testimonies about what they went through. And now you're like, holy cow, I went through that too. That helps you to start to be able to discern again. Like, oh, I was right when I was feeling something was in my gut, that something was wrong. Okay, so I can trust that when my gut starts to tell me this doesn't make sense, right? You start to build that up by listening to other people, by learning from other people who've been through it, right? Now, reading good books, that also helps, because, and I'm talking about books from real psychologists that have been in the field for 10, 15, 20 years and worked with narcissists. There are psychologists that have never worked with a narcissist, and I don't know how helpful they are. But I have a few books that I did recommend. One was called Without Conscience. That was a really big one for me, Without Conscience. And that was written by someone who'd been in the field for, I want to say, probably 30 years. And he did a lot of his research in prisons. So he had a captive, I don't know what you want to call that, field, maybe, to learn from. Yeah, it was really good. I would recommend that. But you can find all the books I recommend in my on my website, escapefromcrazytown.com, and go to shop menu. And the reason it's on the shop menu, because it's just really easy for me to then link it to an Amazon, wherever the book is recommended or sold on Amazon, and then that way you can see exactly what the book is, read the summary, look up the author, all that business. The link is right there. So, yeah. I'm sorry. I'm just also wanting to see what you guys are saying so that we can share. And I'll read it out, because this also is a podcast. And that way my podcast listeners will be able to be part of the conversation. BB Scott. No, I am not Crazytown. I am Escape from Crazytown, but good morning to you as well. Yes. Yeah, just like earlier, I said to somebody else with a who was that? It was terrible what I said. Cluster B. This person is not Cluster B. They are Cluster B free. I'm sure they don't want to be called Cluster B. So, good morning to you guys. You can call me ESC for Escape from Crazytown, EFC, or you can call me Escape. Yeah, that works too. Well, you guys, let me see. Tales from the Narc side says, yes, it's karma at its finest for two narcs to get together. But at the same time, it's twice the crazy that stalks and smears you. Yeah, that's why you want to go no contact, by the way. Because if you are still in contact with them, if you are still in the same circles with them, they will target you, because that's what draws them together. When they two narcissists feel closest when they have a common enemy. So they are going to make you their common enemy. That's why you want to get out of their range. You don't want them to be able to even see you. And when they are not seeing you, when they are not interacting with you, when you're not even part of their life anymore, even part of their circles, then you're going to disappear and they're going to have to focus on themselves. They're going to have to focus on each other as they annoy and irritate and, I hate to say hurt each other, but essentially they're going to take advantage of each other. They're going to start fighting each other rather than fighting you, right? So that's how you take the focus off of you. You just back out of the picture. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Gloria says, I was with the ex-narc for 30 years. Narcs don't change. No, they don't. That's what I'm seeing. I mean, they change a little bit sometimes, maybe. Like they might get more tired. They may not be as physically fit as they used to be. And so they can't argue all night like they used to, right? They actually tire out. So in that way, they change. But it's not because they don't stop fighting just because they're a better person now. They're just physically unable to fight for as long as or argue for as long as they used to. And maybe they start losing their touch as far as manipulations, right? They're not as attractive as they used to be, so they can't get in there and manipulate with their appearance anymore, right? They can't go in there and schmooze people as well anymore. And their schmooziness becomes sort of like cringy, right? In that way, that's what I mean. Sometimes they change in those ways, but as far as their core character, as far as their selfishness, they remain the same. As far as their inability to actually love another person, like truly care about and love another person, it's sad, but I don't think they're capable. They might do nice things for other people, and that's fine. Like have that kind of relationship with them, but have boundaries for when they start to become mean or hateful or any of those things, like start spouting and yelling and no, 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 no. That is not part of the package. That just isn't. People, even if you're upset or angry, you should be respectful. You should be kind. You can be angry at somebody and not unleash on them your tirade, right? You can be angry with someone and then step away, calm down, let your head cool down, right? Examine the situation, see what you can do to make the situation better. Don't just, and I've heard this before, react versus, oh, what is that? Um, oh, why can't I? Instead of reacting to something, you want to be able to respond to it. So there's a difference, right? I don't know. I guess that's kind of like nitpicking definitions here. But essentially, you don't want to just react out of your gut, right? In the moment and out of frustration and in the passion of the moment. You want to step back, think about it, and think about how you want to respond to this situation that would make it better, that would resolve the problem, that would improve you as well as the other person. Yeah. Yep. BB Scott, thank you. Calls me escape now. Thank you. I appreciate that. The Pam says yes, psychology books and especially videos on YouTube by. Oh, okay. I've watched a couple of these people and they're fine, so that's good. Yeah, both of them, they're good. Um, I've watched a few other. I don't even watch other people anymore because after a while you're just like, okay, I get it, I get it. But it's really good reminders, when you need them. Yeah, I love that. I love that we have all these resources and a lot of really good people out there actually who like the two that you recommended. And I think they're, I don't know, whatever. I'm not going to get into it because some people like them, some people don't like them, blah, blah, blah. I'm not going to get into any of that. Listen to who you like to listen to. The PM says developing distractions, hobby groups, chat groups, new friendship circles, even on the internet, and focusing on health, clean eating, exercise, all great healing tools. Yes, yes, absolutely. You want to start implementing good habits. There's a book that I started reading and then I didn't get to finish, so I've got to check it out again. But it's called Atomic Habits. I would recommend that book as well. I don't think it's on my list. I've got to add it to my website. But Atomic Habits is about making tiny, like just add one small habit that's a good habit in your life right now. Like not you can't you don't have sorry, you don't have to wait a week or 2 weeks to start a good habit. Start today. Like one of my favorite things to recommend is start drinking water, right? Just getting hydrated. I'm just so surprised how many people are dehydrated. I have a friend who just 2 days ago went into the ER because she was dehydrated. And I've had, oh, I remember another person who's not quite a friend, an acquaintance in a group that I go to. Um, she also got hospitalized last month for being dehydrated. And I'm like, why are you guys letting it get to that point where you have to go to the emergency room? And I'm not trying to criticize them. It really is a testament to how we don't take care of ourselves. We don't. We put ourselves last. And my instinct is to say, what's worth it to you? Is your health worth it to you? Just when you wake up in the morning, have a drink of water. Guess what? I have jugs of water that I refill. I wash them every day or two when they get empty. And then I refill them with filtered water and I put them by my bedside every night. I have a bottle by my bed or, yeah, on my nightstand every night. And that's because I want to be sure I hydrate in the evening as well as in the morning. I know people would be like, don't do it at night because you're going to have to get up several times. But definitely in the morning, when you wake up, before you even get out of bed, pour yourself a cup of water. Yeah. And then just make it a habit throughout the day. When you have a chance, when you take a break, get a cup of water before anything else you do. Before you pick up your phone, get a cup of water. Just get into one healthy habit. And that one healthy habit in Atomic Habits, that book, it changes your life. You may not notice it within the first day or even within the first week, but then you start noticing how in a year, maybe even 2 years, it just completely changes your life. Maybe with water, it will actually change your life within a week and probably within a few days. But there are other little habits that you do, like say, even showering every day, right? Some people don't shower every day. Like that's just refreshing. It puts your mind and yourself in a good mood. And if you just shower every day, even if it's just a 5 minute shower, it doesn't have to be this luxurious 25-minute shower. Even if it's a 5 minute shower, hop in, hop out, you don't even wash your hair, you just want to get rinsed. It's just cathartic, right? Having water on you, having soothing warmth. It's just so good for you and your mood. Now, after exposing yourself to be able to have a good start to your day for a period of 3, 4, 5 months, you'll start to see your mood elevate. You'll start to see how you change your outlook on life. It's really bizarre. It's really awesome and it's really amazing and it's so doable. Yeah. Thank you to Pam for making all of those recommendations. Yeah, let me see. Yep. And she says, and watching YouTube videos on healing from codependency and setting boundaries are all important. Oh, dear beloved, good to see you. Says, I want out of Crazytown. Yes, yes. Um, and getting out of Crazytown is going no contact and also shutting off the things that are coming into your mind, all the negativity. And if it's the news, if it's certain TV shows, turn it off because that is part of the hook of Crazytown. You want to detach yourself from all that negativity. Yeah. Divine Empress, good to see you. Says my ex-narc moved in with the new supply and her kids who live on the same street. Oh, they all live on the same street, so they just moved in together, or they all live on the same street with you. But yeah, they do. They move pretty quickly. They move in together and you know what? That's a good thing. You know what? I mean, I don't recommend it. That's a bad thing in general, but it's a good thing for you because now that's just going to accelerate their crazy town, right? That's going to accelerate them moving into nightmare mode, which then, in a way, makes you feel a little better about yourself because then you're like, okay, it wasn't just me. They're nuts. And oh my goodness, yeah. But ideally, don't even look. Don't pay attention. It's going to end. And even if, by the way, even if it doesn't end right away, even if it takes years for it to end, and I've talked about this too, narcissists can stay married till the end of their life because it depends on their supply. It depends on if the supply is willing to take that all of their life and throw away their life. I don't recommend it, but it does happen. But when we are watching it from afar, we're going to idealize it. We're going to gaslight ourselves into thinking that they have this beautiful, wonderful, committed relationship when they could be cheating on each other throughout their entire life. But they're not going to come to your house and say, oh, so and so cheated on me for the 40th time. No, they're not going to tell you that. You're just going to look from afar and think, how can they still be married 15 years later? That's crazy. Well, because they put up with it. They put up with it. And you are far better off out of there. They get to continue the nightmare. You get to live in a dream now, like a real dream, not a nightmare. Yeah. Do not gaslight yourself by looking and then making up a narrative just to torment yourself. You know, that is one of the things why we talk about these atomic habits, making small changes in your life each day. So here's another one. When you are tempted to think about the narcissist, look at this list. Like I've told my viewers before, write out a list of what the narcissist has done to you, your own experience, your own evidence of what a terrible person the narcissist has been in your life, right? So here's this really healthy habit, when you are tempted to start fantasizing about how wonderful their life must be right now, take a look at that list. Whip out that list, have it in your pocket, have copies of it. Have a copy on your phone so you can pull it up immediately, or have it on a piece of paper in a little notebook. Have it so that you can pull it out of your wallet. Write it on a 3x5 index card. you know, have that list available. And that is an atomic habit that will help break you out of gaslighting yourself. All right? Actually, I should have named this video How Not to Gaslight Yourself. But this is kind of the perpetuation of being gaslit by the narcissist, right? They built this narrative into your head while you were with them that you're the problem, and if only you would change, then everything else would be perfect. And everything that they didn't really do. That's just in your imagination. So once you've gotten away from the narcissist, whether they discarded you or you discarded them, once you're out of there, a lot of times what we end up doing is we gaslight ourselves. We perpetuate that narrative that we were the problem. I'm not saying that you didn't do anything and I didn't do anything in our relationships that was wrong. I'm just saying that you think that you were the only problem. You were the cause of all the problems in the relationship. You perpetuate the idea that no, the narcissist is a prize and that the new supply has won this wonderful prize that they keep, putting on Facebook and putting in everybody's faces about how wonderful and beautiful their life is now that they're with their soulmate, right? You're perpetuating this gaslighting on yourself. Nobody's forcing it on you. You're just making up this narrative and continuing it and eating it. Don't do that. Don't do that. Throw it out. Stop yourself. And one of the ways you stop yourself is that list. The moment you start imagining life is perfect for the narcissist, bring out that list and read it to yourself again. It will wake you up. All right, you guys. Yeah. The Pan says also in 40s and 50s and up, their peers have matured and gotten wise to the narc's ways, and the narcs are more aware that peeps see they are narcs more easily. Ooh, yeah. Yep. Narcissists kind of change. I think they get kind of weaker as they get older, by the way. They do. They no longer are as strong physically as they were, and they're no longer as attractive physically as they once were. So they don't get away with, that cute smile or that, you know, frolicky way that they are. It's not cute anymore. It's not sweet or endearing anymore. It's just kind of creepy now. So they kind of enter the creepy zone. So they do lose some of their powers, which I think is a good thing for us, obviously. Sadly, they don't change. They don't change their ways in a way so that they are no longer creepy. They will, they'll still be demanding. They'll still be impossible to work with or deal with because they get into their mind that they're the perpetual victim. So those who are left living with the narcissist, I feel sorry for it because they have to live with that. They have to live in that crazy town. Yeah. Gloria says, yes, respond rather than react. I have had very bad reactions, never physical, but I would say things out of the anger from the hurt I felt. Yep, I agree with you, Gloria. And I've done the same thing. And when I've done that, I've regretted it because it tears us down, right? It tears down our character. And we feel ashamed of how we behave because, maybe we feel vindicated at the time. Maybe we feel all self-righteous at the time. But if you hold on to that self-righteousness and you hold on to that arrogance that I should be able to hurt anybody I want because I'm feeling hurt, it's only going to hurt you as well. It's going to hurt your relationship with others who love you and who want to help you or be a part of your life. So that's why I want us not to do that. Oh, stop it, my little dog. Every little shadow that moves makes him growl. Let me see what else. I'm sorry, I'm trying to scroll and get as many of your comments as I can. Dear beloved, good to see you. Says, should we call them out on the lies? I stopped reacting and responding to most stuff, but I wonder if he takes that as getting one over on you. Okay. Yeah. Okay, depends. Are you still living with the narcissist or are you out of their life? Like, are you separated or broken up or divorced? I'd say just stay away from them. Just stay away from them. No need to interact and call them on any of the lies, unless, of course, they're pulling you into court and you have to call them on those lies. But get some help and counsel if you can about that, or how to call them out on their lies. You don't ever want to interact with a narcissist challenging them, because narcissists are not quite in touch with reality. They will thrash about and win. They will destroy everything within their path in order to win, and you do not want to be in their path when they get to that point. And they can get to that point if you challenge them, right, to their face, and just be very careful of that. Dear Beloved says, should we, oh wait, I'm sorry, that's what Dear Beloved said, so I hope that helps. Divine Empress, good to see you, says, have been no contact for 6 months and try not to make eye contact when I drive past them. Yes, it's a very uncomfortable situation, especially when the narc keeps smearing that I'm stalking them. Oh, you know what? There's nothing we can do to stop the narcissist from lying, unless legally we can, but what you have to do is just completely ignore it. Just ignore it. They'll continue smearing you. You know that, where when you were with them, they continued to smear their ex before you, right? Even though the ex had nothing left to do with them and wasn't even in the picture anymore. But in order to manipulate you, they would tell you stories about the ex to make you believe or feel sympathy for them. They're doing the exact same thing with you, with the new supply and whoever else is in their life. They have to smear you in order to get sympathy or to get attention or whatever to um, I don't know, to support their accusations of you, right? So it's just going to happen. Whether it's real or not, whether you actually did anything or not, they're going to have to make up lies about you. Yeah. And nothing stops them from it either. It's not like they're going to get a conscience one day and say, you know what? I'm going to stop lying about my ex. It's just not going to happen. Yeah. So Divine Empress says have been no contact for 6 months and try not to make eye contact when I drive. Oh yeah, I'm sorry, I already read that. DePam says atomic habits. I will check that out. Dehydration is so careless. No one wants to visit hospital in the age of COVID. Yeah, right. Oh, by the way, my friend who went to the ER 2 days ago said that there was, well, it was her husband who told me about it, said that there was no waiting. They walked right in. They were the only people there. They got in and she got some bags of saline and then they left. It was like so fast, he said. Nothing's going on. Even though our governor right now is trying to tell us that there aren't enough hospital beds for all the COVID patients they're expecting. And I'm like, give me a break. I'm sorry. I'm just at that point right now. I think that's one of the things that we need evidence of. They can tell us all kinds of things, but I want to see some pictures. Like, I want to see evidence. There was a time, by the way, where they would have pictures. They can show like parking lots full of cars at the hospital. So there's no privacy issues there, right? They won't even show that. You can even drive by a hospital and see, like, okay, is the parking lot packed? No, it's not. It's not. Because, oh, I'm telling you, yeah, it's gaslighting. We're being gaslit, people. Divine Empress says, I have blocked and now no contact with any of our mutual connections. Yeah. And you know what? You just kind of have to do that. If they are toxic along with the narcissist and are suppressing you and are ganging up on you, get out of there, right? Block them. I totally agree with that. Gloria says, they will never face the truth of their lies. I tried. He would turn it around. Everything then became my fault. Exactly. Exactly. Narcissists are not going to take responsibility. They're not going to say, oh my gosh, now that you call me on it, okay, I'll admit. No. Oh my gosh, I'll give you an example right now, but I'm not going to tell you the name. But there are accusations right now, not just accusations, but flat out evidence. But the MSM is hiding it. They're suppressing it. They're trying to invalidate it. And yet, anybody who's willing to dig a little, and you do have to dig, by the way, because now the big tech servers, like what I'm on right now, even if you put in the search words, they will not give you the most recent evidence. They won't give you the most compelling evidence that's out there because they have already shadow banned and they have already blocked those things. So you do have to dig. You have to go through multiple media, by the way, to find it. That's how you know you're being gaslit, by the way, when they're not forthright with the evidence. And when you have seen some of the evidence, but they don't want to talk about it, right? They want to act like, no, 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 you didn't see that, and it wasn't real, but you know it's real. And it's, anyway, you guys, total crazy. Yep. Gloria. Wait, hold on. I think I didn't go back far enough. Gloria says, they will never, oh yeah, face the truth. The Pam says, I can testify your face will look older when you are dehydrated. Yes, right? That's the thing. When you start drinking water, that is, you actually start to look younger. Yeah. And it takes months, by the way, to build up that hydration underneath your skin. And you have to stay hydrated. Because if you go a day or a couple of days here and there dehydrated, your skin, you have to like spend weeks again to rehydrate. underneath your skin there. Yeah. The pan says, I can test. Oh, yeah. Dear beloved says, I experienced the same thing, Gloria. Oh, yeah, with confronting them with the lies. Gloria says, I'm still drinking too much alcohol, trying to cut down. I've been needing to numb myself. Ah, oh, Gloria, don't numb yourself with alcohol. I'll tell you what, instead of turning to alcohol, turn to comedy. Seriously, that is what I did. I turned to dry bar comedy, which I love, but you can follow your favorite comedian. And when you're feeling down, instead of turning to alcohol, turn on the comedian. And I'll tell you what, it will bring you out of that darkness. Divine Empress says, they are on the same street as me. Oh, okay, I get it now. Within 3 weeks of being discarded. Oh my gosh. So, don't look. Just don't look. You cannot, yeah, you have to like bounce your eyes. I've heard that term years ago when someone was talking about how to keep negative, from seeing negative things. Like, I won't get into it, what it was actually about. But that's one of the things that you can bounce your eyes from is when you see them, like even just from the side view, your peripheral, look away, turn your head in another direction where they can't even be in the peripheral vision. Yeah, that's going to be hard. And if you can, maybe you can move, right? If you don't own your house, if you are just renting, consider moving to a bit better place. And by the way, sometimes changing that and upgrading yourself, that would be awesome if you can do that. Oh, okay. Dear beloved says we have kids. He got engaged and is doing everything he can to throw it in my face. Oh, oh, I'm so sorry. Yeah, you know what? You have to just accept that. Like, okay, they're engaged. But the reality is, it's a nightmare. It really is. You have to move on. You have to love the things that are in your life now. Like, and if you don't love the things that are in your life now, start putting things in your life that you are going to love, right? If you love animals, start volunteering with animals. If you love physical activity, start joining groups that do that particular physical activity. If it's swimming, if it's you're not boating, whatever. I don't know. If you can boat, that's great. Kayaking, if it's hiking, if it's jogging, bicycling, start doing that. Oh, I have a friend who, after her divorce, she was putting her life together and back together and living on her own, this tiny little apartment. But, for some reason, she just thought, you know what? I've always wanted to try to ride a bicycle, and she was in her, I want to say, she was probably in her upper 30s at that point. And she's like, I always wanted to ride a bike, so she joined a bicycling group. She started riding a bicycle with them, like little by little, and they trained her and they taught her. And being around other bicycle people, they taught her how to look for a good bike and how to fix her bike and how to train herself to not hurt herself, right, on a bicycle. They started going on all these trips. She started going on trips where it was like 40, 50 miles of bicycling and then 150 miles of bicycling. And in one of these groups that she was in, she met her current husband. Yeah. So, I mean, good things happen. She got fit. Oh my gosh, I tell you. She got physically fit. She got mentally fit because she was outside in the sun with positive people doing a positive thing that was good for her body and good for her mind. Even though every night she would go home to this tiny little dark uh, basement type apartment, it was kind of depressing. But she was able to go out and do all these wonderful things and added something beautiful into her life. So if there's something, if you don't have something that you love in your life, add it. Add that thing into your life. And you cannot even imagine what good things will come from that. I'm just looking here to see. Oh, Maria Pena, good to see you. I hope that you're doing well. The Pan says, I agree. Narcs get weaker as they get older, sometimes more sloppy, sometimes more savvy, or they improve their craft, right? Of lying. Yeah, there's a, like if they're a young narc in their 20s, and they may get better and better into their 30s and 40s, but then they get into their 50s and 60s and start to decline. That's what happens. And maybe they're still on the upswing in their 50s. I don't know. Um, but they do start to decline. Yeah. John, good to see you. Um, oh, says, do all narcs manipulate and use the same tactics? Yeah, they do. I mean, that's the crazy thing, because we all, when we come on here and we talk about our experiences, it's amazing, right? To see the same tactics. It's amazing to see the projection and the future faking and the gaslighting. And the denial, constant denial, and then also the pathological lying. It is incredible. The victim splaining, I guess, I don't know, where they act as if they're the victim in every relationship, and yet also the hero, because they they endured that victimhood, right? And so on the one side, you feel so sorry for them, right? You feel so all this sympathy for them, and then on the other side, you have such admiration for them. That is their ideal situation. That is for them the ideal relationship with others, is to have your sympathy, but also have your adoration and admiration. Yep, crazy. Um, you know what? And in good relationships, that's one of the things I want to talk to you. I do want to use that in a real relationship. I'm thinking about my relationships that I have with people right now in my life. And I got to tell you, I don't feel sorry for any of my friends. Like, I can feel some sympathy when they go through a hard time, but I don't feel sorry for them for their continual situation, like what for their whole life. Like, oh, they're just, everything always happens bad for them. Oh, no, I actually enjoy their company. I appreciate them. Some of them I know pretty deeply, so I admire them for what they've done with their life, or I admire their motivation and their ability to do such innovative things in their life right now. So I admire that, but I don't look at somebody and only admire them for their emotional accomplishments. All right, I don't only admire them for that. I actually admire them more for what they're doing with their life now, right? Physically. Yeah. And what I mean is, I'm thinking about a particular friend. Oh, I mean, so many friends are doing really wonderful things, actually. One is starting a ministry, another one is ministering to people, counseling. And I think that's a really awesome thing, to be able to help other people who are struggling emotionally. Another one is writing a book. Actually, she's written several books, so that's exciting as well. I'm just like, wow, this is wonderful that they're so motivated to go out there and be something, and be a contribution. I love that. Yeah. Well, you guys, we are well over our hour, but we have had some really good conversation here. A lot of interaction. I appreciate all of your input. Let me see if I'll read a few more of your comments while you wrap up your conversations. Um, oh, so, okay, where do I want to go down here. Someone recommended vitamins. I love to take. Um, I mean, I don't love to take vitamins, but I do recommend, if you're not getting vitamins the proper way through food or through sunlight, then supplements are really a good alternative. Yeah, because when you're lacking in vitamins in your body, the reason I love to talk about vitamins, though, is when you're lacking certain nutrients in your body, it does affect your hormones. It affects your physical body. And then when it affects your physical body, it also affects your mind. So be careful of that. And if you want to see what vitamins are recommended. It's near the end of our chat here. Several people are posting about that. Aw, Gloria says, I haven't laughed in months. Gloria, subscribe to Dry Bar Comedy, DRY for dry. Um, it is it is clean humor. They don't curse. They don't get really nasty or ugly. They don't put people down. They don't attack. Or I'm not into any of that. It's really good, fun, hilarious comedy. When you watch that, I hope there's some really good comedians in there and some that are okay, but they have such a mix that it depends on your personality. I've seen some comedians where I was like, nah, they're okay, but then I read the comments and people are like, this was the funniest guy ever. I was like, oh, that's cool. So there's something for everybody, I guess, in there. Get onto Dry Bar Comedy and have a laugh. Laughter, you guys, is healing. Laughter is healing. You have to learn to laugh at the craziness of Crazytown. You just do, because what the heck? It makes no freaking sense. It just helps you get over the trauma. Yeah. BB Scott says self-care is a must. Yep. Get outside, walk each day, 30 minutes. Oh my gosh, that's excellent. That's excellent. I'm so glad you brought that up. Years ago, a friend of mine was having back problems, major back problems. Had a couple of surgeries already on his back. And finally, he went to a doctor who told him, start walking. Start walking. So every night he would take a walk with his wife, after dinner walk. Probably it was like 30 minutes every night. Probably only started off with like 5 or 10 minute walks. But then it grew to more than that. And it just strengthens the muscles in your back, just walking. And after that, I think he also has shoulder issues. Yeah, his whole back started strengthening and getting healed. And now he doesn't have to have any more surgeries, which they thought they were going to have to do, and he's able to do more things physically than he ever had before. Yeah. So, start walking. I think that is a great idea. Yeah, yeah, the Pam. I'll leave you guys with this last comment. It says, great point. Don't keep friends or acquaintances that are perpetual victims. Oh my gosh. Those people will drain your life, by the way. Oh, why is it so dark suddenly? Oh, there you go. So, yeah, I'm sorry. I mean, I don't want to be unsympathetic. Definitely love people and care for them. But there are some people who are perpetual victims and they will not, maybe because they cannot get out of it, right? So you can try to help, you try to turn them in the right direction, get involved in their life. But if they refuse to, if they just refuse, right? If they refuse to get out of that pit, there's really nothing more than for them to do than pull you into the pit with them. So that is the concern there. Be very careful about that. Well, you guys, thank you so much for joining me today. I hope that this has helped you. I want you to know that there are good things that you can do for yourself. Read the comments through here in the live chat. You can watch live chat, by the way, when you replay these videos, which is really awesome. You can just turn it on. It's on the bottom of the video. There should be a little bit of a menu that allows you to choose live chat. Yeah, lots of really good ideas here, you guys. Thank you for your input. Thank you for your vulnerability and opening up and sharing. I hope that you understand and know that you are not alone. And the good news, you guys, is that you do not have to live in Crazytown with the narcissist anymore. You do not have to live with them like the new supply now is living with them. So know that you are blessed. Know that you have a whole beautiful life ahead of you because you do not have to be living in a nightmare with a narcissist anymore. Don't gaslight yourself into believing that they're having a beautiful life over there. It's not. It just isn't. You know it's not. You've been there. So blessings to you. Wake up from that nightmare. Look towards the dream of your future. Add beautiful things in your life that you're going to be happy with, right? Add things in your life that you're going to love, right? And you're going to be so amazed and surprised at these small things, these little habits, these little steps that you take, drinking a little, more water, taking walks every day. You will be surprised how your life will just turn completely around. Well, blessings to you guys. I hope you have a wonderful week, and I will catch up with you next week. Be sure to watch, I'm sorry, I always forget to ask this, but be sure to watch a commercial once in a while. I would appreciate that. That's the only way, really, that I earn anything from these videos. And let me think. What else? Oh, share the videos, yeah, if you like, and recommend me to other people. So much. I thank you so much, and many blessings to you. Have a wonderful week.